The Ice Cream Pact. It all started with a parking ticket. Leo, running 10 minutes late to his summer internship, had parked in the only available spot outside the art gallery, clearly marked no parking 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Mondays. It was Tuesday. Or so he thought. He returned an hour later to find a bright orange slip fluttering on his windshield and a girl standing beside his car, laughing.
You thought today was Tuesday, didn't you?
She asked, grinning with zero sympathy. Leo blinked at her. It is Tuesday.
Nope. Monday. Sorry, man.
She tapped her phone.
Calendar confirms.
He sighed and crumpled the ticket. Great. Just great.
Hey.
She said.
If it helps, I once got towed because I misread AM as PM. My car spent the night at a police lot, and I cried over an expired protein bar.
Leo snorted. That does help. Kind of. She stuck out her hand.
I'm Maya.
He shook it. Leo. Intern. Broken in spirit.
Well, Leo the intern, I think you need ice cream.
Leo raised an eyebrow. Is this a sympathy offer or do you just always approach strangers with frozen dairy?
Both.
Maya grinned.
Also, there's a place down the street with 37 flavors. We're making a pact. Every time life sucks, we go get ice cream.
And just like that, the Ice Cream Pact was born. Over the next few weeks, Leo and Maya became inseparable. Every little inconvenience became a reason to meet at the neon-lit creamery with the squeaky front door and mismatched chairs. Got yelled at by a supervisor? Ice cream. Forgot an umbrella during a thunderstorm? Ice cream. Spilled coffee on a resume? 2 scoops. They tried every flavor. Maya loved lavender honey and pretended she didn't eat the cone. Leo always chose mint chocolate chip and insisted it helped him think. Their conversations bounced from terrible childhood hairstyles to big dreams. Maya wanted to start a sustainable fashion line. Leo, an aspiring architect, carried a sketchbook like it was an extra limb. One night, Maya sat across from Leo, spooning pistachio ice cream, and asked,
Do you ever get scared you'll end up boring?
He blinked. Where did that come from? She shrugged.
I don't know. I look at other people, steady jobs, calm routines, matching furniture, and wonder if I'm doing this all wrong.
Leo stared at her, then said, I think you're the most unboring person I've ever met. She smiled.
That's dangerously close to a compliment.
He grinned. I'm feeling reckless tonight. Then came the almost kiss. It was raining. Hard. They'd been at a rooftop jazz night, soaked through, laughing hysterically, running under a sheer hoodie. At the entrance to Maya's apartment, she looked up at him, drenched, glowing from the street lamp, ice cream still melting in a cup in her hand. He leaned in. She didn't move. Their noses almost touched. Then her phone rang. She jumped.
Sorry. My sister. I have to.
She stepped back.
Call you?
Leo nodded. Sure. But she didn't call. Not that night. Not the next day. Or the one after. 3 days later, Leo sat alone at the ice cream shop, stirring his mint chocolate chip until it melted. Maya walked in. No smile. No usual jokes.
I freaked out.
She said. I noticed, he replied. She sat down.
I like you. A lot. But I'm not used to things that feel real. Most people in my life are temporary.
Leo looked at her for a long moment. Then stay anyway, he said. She blinked.
What?
Be afraid. Be unsure. Be late or awkward or overwhelmed. But stay. Maya looked down at her hands. Also, Leo added, if you break the ice cream pact, there are consequences. Maya smiled slowly.
What kind of consequences?
You'll be sentenced to 5 years of me stealing your fries. She laughed.
You already do that.
Then it's working. That summer became the kind of season people write songs about. Full of rooftop conversations, weird museum exhibits, long walks that ended in spontaneous dance battles, and more ice cream than either of them could count. But summer, like all good things, had an expiration date. Maya got accepted into a fellowship abroad. 3 months in Milan. A chance to build her dream. Leo had an offer from a small but respected firm across the country. His first real job. The night before she left, they returned to the ice cream shop. 37th flavor. One they'd saved for last, wild blueberry swirl. They sat on their usual bench, sharing a cup. So, Leo said, do we call this the end of summer? Maya shook her head.
No. We call it the beginning of the long-distance chapter.
He smiled. With more ice cream. She leaned on his shoulder.
Always.
He pulled something out of his jacket pocket. It was a small wooden token, carved with the shop's name and the words Pact Renewed. Every time we see each other again, he said, we try a new flavor. No matter where life takes us. Maya took it, tears in her eyes.
You really believe this could work?
She asked. Leo looked at her. I believe in 37 flavors. And I believe in us. Because sometimes, the sweetest love stories aren't about perfect timing. They're about the people who stay when timing isn't. And the ones who make ice cream part of the plan.
Almost married. It was supposed to be perfect. The beach was dressed in white silk, seashell garlands, and fairy lights swaying gently in the afternoon breeze. Guests were seated, the quartet was tuning their instruments, and the officiant was rehearsing her lines. And Ellie? She was hiding in the back of a rental van, barefoot, holding a half-eaten cupcake. I think I'm going to throw up, she mumbled. You say that every time you're overwhelmed. Max replied, loosening his bow tie.
Like that time you accidentally got cast as Juliet in college and panicked before every rehearsal.
Ellie stared at him. This wedding, it just doesn't feel like us. The seating chart, the speeches, the monogrammed cocktail napkins. I feel like a guest at my own party. Max leaned back, hands behind his head.
You know what would feel more like us?
What?
Running away. Like right now. You in that gown, me in flamingo socks. Let's leave.
Her eyes widened. You're serious? He nodded.
Let's find a diner. Share pancakes. Say our vows over syrup instead of speeches.
She grinned slowly. Okay. Let's run. They snuck around the tents, past the caterers and curious groomsmen. Max's old car was parked behind a line of palm trees. Ellie tossed her heels in the back seat. As they drove off, her veil flew out the window like a ribbon in the wind. They found a tiny roadside diner called the Griddle Stop. Vinyl booths. Coffee-scented air. A flickering neon sign. Ellie walked in barefoot. No one blinked. Wedding or zombie prom? Asked the waitress, raising an eyebrow.
Somewhere in between.
Max said. They ordered pancakes, hash browns, milkshakes. Laughed like teenagers skipping school. Then Max pulled out a pen.
Let's write our vows.
He said, grabbing a napkin.
I vow to always give you the last fry.
He began.
To support your dream of designing ridiculous furniture. And to kill spiders, unless they're enormous, in which case, I vow to scream with you.
Ellie wiped a tear from her eye, laughing.
I vow to love you even when you snore like a lawn mower. To watch sci-fi movies I don't understand, just to sit beside you. And to believe in you, especially when you forget to believe in yourself.
They toasted with milkshakes. I can't believe we just ditched our wedding, she said. Max took her hand.
We didn't ditch it. We made it ours.
Later, they checked into a cheap motel with flamingo wallpaper and one towel. They watched cartoons, split a vending machine Snickers, and fell asleep tangled together, no pressure, no ceremony, just love. The next morning, they drove back to the beach. Chaos. The officiant was drinking wine. Max's cousin had a drone flying overhead. Ellie's aunt was interrogating a groomsman. "Where were you?" someone gasped. "Getting married," Ellie said, barefoot but glowing. There was a pause. Then Max's grandma smiled. "I always knew you two had flair." 2 weeks later, they threw a backyard party. No suits. No speeches. Just fairy lights, a grill, Ellie's dog knocking over the punch bowl, and Max DJing with a playlist titled, "Better Than a String Quartet." They shared the whole story, veils, pancakes, and all. Every anniversary after, they returned to the griddle stop. Ordered pancakes. Rewrote their vows on napkins. And reminded each other why they chose love over tradition. Because love doesn't have to follow a script. Sometimes it's messy, spontaneous, a little barefoot. But when it's real, it feels like home.